It's a brisk evening down at Launch Complex 1 on the Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand. The sun was setting as operations began earlier this evening, and now Electron stands tall, ready to take to the skies from Pad A for the 92nd time. Teams are on console and readying Electron to head to space on another constellation deployment mission for our longtime customer, Institute of Kyushu Pioneers of Space, or IQPS. My name is Julian Spice, and alongside Kim Thompson, we're joining you from Rocket Lab's Mission Control Center in Auckland, New Zealand, for the launch of the Grain Goddess Provides.
Thanks, Julian. It's great to be back again for another Electron launch. So far, our pad techs and launch operators on console at MCC and Range Control have had a clear run, and we are tracking no issues in the lead up to liftoff. That T0 is set for 9:18 p.m. here in New Zealand or 6:18 p.m. for IQPS's operators in Japan. The satellite we've got on board Electron today is the QPS SAR-13, nicknamed Mikuru-1 by IQPS for the Japanese goddess associated with food, abundance and prosperity. Each of IQPS's satellites are nicknamed for the orbit they'll be operating as part of their Earth imaging constellation in Leo. Mikuru-1 is heading to its operational orbit at 575 kilometres above Earth, with our trajectory set at a 42-degree inclination from LC1.
Honestly, we love the nicknames. The SAR in QPS SAR-13 stands for Synthetic Aperture Radar, which means the distance of radio waves being bounced back off terrain and buildings on Earth to map a picture of a particular location at any time, day or night. Let's run with a clip now from IQPS to tell us more about their mission.
Founded in Fukuoka with the mission of establishing a space industry in Kyushu, IQPS marks its 20th anniversary in 2025. Today, together with more than 25 partner companies, mainly based in northern Kyushu, we are developing the world-class small SAR satellite, QPS SAR. SAR satellites use radio waves, enabling observation of the Earth's surface day or night in any weather. IQPS is steadily working toward a 36-satellite QPS SAR constellation, aiming for near real-time Earth observation almost anywhere on the globe. Since launching our first satellite in December 2019, we have continued to expand our fleet and gained extensive expertise in operations. In March 2025, our new R&D hub, QSIP, was established. QSIP integrates manufacturing, testing, and shipping on one floor, enabling production of up to 10 satellites per year. This boosts efficiency and development speed, accelerating launches and service readiness. Partnering with government agencies, infrastructure operators, and others, we are already delivering results by combining satellite data with image analysis and AI. Our satellites are used for inspecting large infrastructure and monitoring wildfires, earthquakes, eruptions, and other disasters, helping detect crises early. As natural disasters and geopolitical risks increase worldwide, the need for our high-precision observation data grows more urgent every day. Faster, more accurate, covering more places than ever before. We will continue expanding our constellation, realizing a world where Earth is observed more frequently. Unlocking the potential of space and contributing to human progress. The challenge of IQPS continues.
Today's mission is launch number 8 for the IQPS constellation, with plenty more gods and goddesses lined up for this year and next.
That's right, and Electron has actually been the only rocket to deploy their constellation since 2024. And we're excited for more to head to space from right here at LC1 over the next few years.
A quick check on the clock and we're at T-minus 13 minutes and counting, which means in the next minute or so we'll hear our final go, no-go poll from Mission Control to clear us to proceed with today's launch. Our launch director for today, Paula Tareseralongia, will check in with each of the mission's operators at T-minus 12 minutes to make sure there are no issues stopping us from moving forward with the launch attempt. If everyone is clear to proceed, she'll issue the go to continue and reaffirm our T0 liftoff time before we head into the terminal count. Let's bring up the audio from Mission Control now and listen in.
And all stations proceeding with the go-no-go sequence stage.
Stages go.
Avionics,
Avionics is go.
GNC,
GNC is go.
Beacon,
Beacon is go.
T1,
T1 is go.
GC,
GC is go.
PLS,
PLS is go.
RSO,
RSO is go.
MET,
MET is go.
MM,
MM is go.
FAN,
FAN is go.
LSO,
LSO is go.
LDSAP.
LDSAP is go.
Go-no-go sequence complete. We are T-minus 11 minutes, 12 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count auto sequence starting at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word procedure is in effect. GC, LD, admission court.
LDGC.
GC, proceed with the launch pad ready sequence number 60.
Copy and work.
And with that, we are clear through the go-no-go poll and moving ahead with today's launch for IQPS. Just reconfirming what we heard there, our T0 target time today is 9:18 p.m. local or 6:18 p.m. in Japan. And if we do need to stand down for any reason, we've got a 1-hour launch window and a couple more gaps we can shoot for to get the Grain Goddess on her way to space today.
All right, while that countdown continues, it's a good time to tell you about the Electron rocket getting ready to launch today's mission. Electron is an 18-meter tall, 2-stage launch vehicle made up of carbon composite throughout its exterior and interior tanks. We've been flying since 2017, and today's mission is number 92, with the majority of our launches taking place from right here at Launch Complex 1 in New Zealand, our own privately controlled orbital launch site, the first of its kind in the world. Between LC-1 and our second launch site in Virginia, we're launching frequently with dedicated missions for commercial, science, and national security operations, making Electron the most frequently launched small-lift orbital rocket in the world.
Now, supporting this high launch cadence and reliably delivering all those satellites to their orbits is our kick stage, which is located right near the top of the rocket inside its nose cone. The kick stage is our in-space delivery vehicle, designed to carry satellites exactly where they need to go on orbit. It's got its own propulsion system called Curie, capable of multiple relights to deliver different payloads to a variety of different orbits, even in the same mission. The kick stage is initially delivered to an elliptical orbit by Electron's second stage, which is powered by a vacuum-optimized version of our Rutherford engine. The Rutherford engine, which is 3D printed and electric pump fed, powers both stages of Electron, with 9 engines on the first stage, in addition to that 1 on the second. And it is very unique in the world of rocket engines too. The Rutherford is actually the first and only battery-powered rocket engine to repeatedly fly to space.
Yep, it uses the electric charge from those batteries to drive the propellant pumps that feed liquid oxygen and kerosene through the Rutherford, where traditional engines use another method involving gas generation. At 2 seconds before liftoff, those Rutherford rocket engines light up to generate some 43,000 pounds of thrust to lift Electron off the pad and on its way to space.
And it takes just over 9 minutes from liftoff to kick stage separation, and then another 45 or so minutes for the kick stage to be in the right position to release IQPS's satellite to its target 575-kilometer orbit. Along the way, Electron will separate each of its stages to reduce mass once the job's complete. For the first stage, that's at around 2.5 minutes after liftoff, and then we've got about 6.5 minutes of engine burn for stage 2, including a battery swap mid-engine burn.
The kick stage has a longer journey than both of them. When it's released from the second stage, it's placed in what's called a transfer orbit, an intermediary trajectory that takes it around the Earth to line it up on a circular path for payload deployment and release of QPS-SAR-13 into its constellation. When we're not launching for commercial partners like IQPS, we're delivering critical capabilities for national security across our Electron and HASTE rockets and our spacecraft. Sometimes these missions involve launch, a satellite, and on-orbit operations, all by Rocket Lab. And that includes one of the most exciting and historic defense missions to head to space recently, called Victus Haze.
For this tactically responsive space mission, the Space Force tasked us with responding to a simulated on-orbit threat within some crazy fast timelines, like launching in the same day, rapidly configuring our satellite to move out soon after that, and quickly executing an on-orbit chase down of another spacecraft. With a couple of minutes left in the countdown, we've got some time to show you how that end-to-end mission was carried out. Let's take a look.
Responsive space matters right now because the threat environment, frankly, is advancing so quickly.
In this mission, you really get one shot a day. And so that T0 time, if you miss it, you gotta wait an entire day, which could be the difference of making or breaking your mission.
Coming up to the launch, I was extremely nervous. I couldn't sleep at all, so I just came into work.
The contract that we had from Space Safari and from DIU was basically deliver a mission. And it was up to Rocket Lab to decompose those mission goals and objectives into discrete requirements. The first of which was to launch within 24 hours notice.
The nose to launch told us where the spacecraft was that we needed to go chase. So Electron had to make sure that we nailed target insertion orbit.
In that first hour, we basically deploy 3 teams very quickly. The first team is boots on the ground at the launch site. They're readying the hardware, the launch vehicle, and the spacecraft. We have a GNC and analysis team on the launch site back in mission control. They're analyzing orbits, running HITL, releasing flight code, and working on the regulatory environment. And then the same sort of thing is happening on the spacecraft side. You've got a GNC and analysis team preparing for on-orbit operations, and all of that has to kick off in the first hour in order to enable that time frame.
It's a huge feat for Electron at large. We've launched within 24 hours before, but in this case, we didn't know where we were going. We had to wait to find out and do all of that work within a few hours after the delivery of the nose to launch.
We launched in 16 hours and 42 minutes, well beating the 24-hour requirement. The second task was to perform rendezvous and proximity operations, basically hunting down another spacecraft on orbit. This was our simulated threat. And then lastly, it was to perform optical characterization of that threat, effectively us taking pictures to try to learn about this simulated threat.
Ultimately rendezvousing with the other spacecraft at close approach, getting well-focused, well-resolved images with our imaging payload. That's kind of the holy grail that I've been chasing.
We were able to complete our overall mission tasking within 60 hours. In total, you're looking at, less than a week of overall operational timeline to, launch all the way through performing mission execution.
The fact that we had demonstrated this super accelerated timeline and it was flawless, it was an incredible experience to be in. And I know that the customer realized that. Rocket Lab was basically a one-stop shop for end-to-end capability. So we did the mission level, the RPO, the spacecraft development, we did the launch, we did the range, we did the regulatory, and we are the provider end-to-end. It's just a much simpler, more streamlined approach to responsive space.
Seeing our Pioneer spacecraft successfully reach orbit and rapidly begin complex operations alongside another satellite was a huge moment for our team. Going from a notice to launch order to operational status in orbit in record time was such a massive feat, and I know everyone here at the lab is super proud of their part in the mission.
Okay, here we go. We're just moments away from launch, an auto-sequence start by Electron's onboard flight computer that takes over the countdown through to liftoff. You'll hear our launch director call out across the nets when that moment happens, just before propellant loading is expected to finish up on Electron at around T-minus 1.5 minutes. Pretty soon after that, we'll hear that the tanks are fully pressed for flight, which means they're at the right pressure levels for launch.
Our launch director will be monitoring for any critical flags during the rest of the count from there. Otherwise, they'll follow along with the clock and count down from T-minus 10 seconds until Electron launches off the pad at T0. Let's hand it over now to Mission Control for those final couple of minutes before launch, and we'll be back with you after liftoff.
From now, there should be no red flags on your critical LCCs. Beacon LD in mission court.
LD Beacon.
Beacon, lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Locked.
Copy and confirm all flight computer ASCOs are green.
All ASCOs are green.
Copy, thank you, Beacon. We are go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LD is go for launch.
ECS disabled, hold down mechanisms armed, pad auto sequence armed, pad ready for launch.
The vehicle is fully on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
LOX load is complete. System is in recirculation. Anti-geysering is disabled.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks are pressed.
High flow engine purge enabled.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beginning pitch over.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
The Goddess of Grain is on her way to orbit following a clean liftoff from Pad A at Launch Complex 1. And as you can see, we don't have vehicle cameras, but we are holding speeds of over 900 kilometers an hour at more than 6 kilometers in altitude above Earth, all nominal. We're coming up quickly on our first launch milestone called Max Q, or Maximum Aerodynamic Pressure. This is the moment when Electron will experience peak structural load on the way to space, and we should hear a call out shortly from Mission Control.
Cleared Max Q.
There we go. That's Max Q, cleared by Electron, now at speeds of more than 2,200 kilometers above Earth and 10 kilometers above Earth and 2,200 kilometers an hour. Sorry about that. Up next is MECO, or main engine cutoff, where we'll say goodbye to Electron's first stage and its 9 Rutherford engines once they shut down. After shutdown, the first stage will separate, making way for the second stage to take over. Powering the second stage, the single vacuum optimized Rutherford engine will soon make its debut, igniting to continue the mission. Just a reminder, we're trying to get those cameras back, but we can reassure you we are nominal at this stage.
Right, the second engine will take over on a critical task of propelling the payload towards its targeted trajectory, ensuring it reaches orbit as planned. So we should hear that call out from MECO in about 40 seconds. Let's listen in.
15 seconds to staging.
Enter in burnout attack mode.
MECO confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
And there it is, confirmation of MECO, stage separation and a successful second stage ignition. That second stage is performing nominally while it carries QPS SAR-13 closer to orbit at more than 7,900 kilometers per hour.
Next up will be fairing jettison. So until now, the SAR satellite has been safely enclosed within Electron's 2 protective fairing halves, keeping it secure during the initial stages of flight. Pretty soon, those fairing halves will split and fall away since QPS SAR-13 no longer needs its protection from the friction of the lower atmosphere. We're listening out now for fairing jettison confirmed from Mission Control.
Fairing jettison confirmed.
HVP discharge holding nominal.
Stage 2 propulsion nominal.
Fairing separation confirmed, and we have those vehicle cameras back. The QPS SAR-13 satellite is now experiencing the vacuum conditions of space for the very first time. We are now about 4 minutes into today's flight, with just under 6 minutes left in the second stage burn.
As powerful and efficient as Electron's second stage engine is, the journey to orbit is still about 3 times longer than how long it took for Electron's first stage. So to ensure the second stage has the energy it needs to go the distance, it performs a unique and critical maneuver known as battery hot swap.
That's right. Unlike traditional engines, Electron's Rutherford engines are electrically powered, which allows us to carry out this innovative process. The second stage will seamlessly transition to a fresh set of batteries mid-flight, ensuring an uninterrupted power supply and keeping the mission right on track while we drop even more unnecessary weight on our way to space. This is a capability unique to Electron and shows the advanced engineering and thought behind its design.
Yep, the process is so seamless that it can be quite easy to miss. But keep an eye on the screen for the shiny object on the right there. That battery pack will disconnect and fall away from the vehicle, and that will be our visual cue that hot swap was successful.
Guidance is nominal, 200 seconds remaining.
HVP discharge holding nominal, approaching hot swap in 30 seconds.
Throttling down.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Hot swap successful.
Hopefully you were able to catch a glimpse of those batteries falling away, as that was successful hot swap confirmed. Electron is currently traveling at a speed of 15,500 kilometers per hour at an altitude of 244 kilometers. There's approximately 2 minutes remaining in this engine burn. We've checked off the vast majority of our primary ascent milestones now and are heading into the final actions left on the second stage.
That's right, the last few milestones for Stage 2 are SECO and then stage separation of the kick stage. Practically the same as the actions that took place between the first and second stages for our first separation event, except instead of main engine cutoff, we have second engine cutoff. Once that's complete, the kick stage, with its IQPS satellite attached, will be separated into its transfer orbit for the mission. Because the kick stage is initially released in an elliptical pattern, a transfer orbit will bring the kick stage to our planned 575 kilometre apogee. That journey takes about 40 minutes or so from the moment the kick stage is separated from the second stage, and once the kick stage reaches its target, its own Curie engine will start up to perform the manoeuvres needed to circularize its orbit.
But before that happens, of course, we have to make our way through SECO and kick stage separation from the second stage. That's coming up in just a few moments now, so let's go ahead and listen in for the callouts from Mission Control.
Android, burn out the tech mode.
Guidance is in terminal. 20 seconds remaining.
SECO confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
Beautiful, a nice clean engine shutdown for that Stage 2 Rutherford engine and a successful deployment of the kick stage to its nominal transfer orbit. Great news for the team for the mission so far.
Like we said before, the kick stage is now in a 40-minute holding pattern around Earth. Once we reach the other side, the kick stage will perform a course-correcting engine burn that places it into a circular orbit for the end of the mission. Then a few moments later, we'll have payload deployment to add the latest satellite to the constellation for IQPS.
We'll come back and join you to listen into those final moments before payload deployment, which is scheduled for just after the top of the hour. Until then, you can follow the kick stage's journey with this tracking graphic as it continues in its coast phase around Earth. We'll see you back here soon. T plus 48 minutes into the mission, and you're joining us just in time for payload deployment. Welcome back to the live coverage of the Grain Goddess Provides, our 8th dedicated Electron launch to build out the Earth imaging SAR constellation for Japan-based operators IQPS. If you missed liftoff, today's mission was a nominal one through max Q, main engine cutoff, stage separation, second stage startup, and second stage delivery of the kick stage and its satellite to the mission's nominal transfer orbit.
We're currently in our circularization burn from the 3D printed Curie engine. We're now waiting for confirmation that engine is shut off, which will mean we're then just seconds away from payload deployment. So it's time to listen in.
Curie cutoff confirmed.
And nominal final orbit achieved.
All right, successful Curie engine cutoff has been achieved. The kick stage, along with the payload, has now entered its circular low Earth orbit. The final step remaining now is payload deployment, which is just moments away. Let's turn back to mission control to listen for the official confirmation of payload deployment for Mikura 1.
Payload QPS SAR-13 separation confirmed.
That is payload deployment confirmed and mission success once again for Electron and IQPS. It's an honor to be able to launch for them time and time again. Congratulations to the mission team and all the best with satellite commissioning for the IQPS operators over the next few hours. And a big congratulations to the Rocket Lab team on achieving yet another flawless launch with our 13th successful launch of the year and 100% mission success.
That marks the end of Electron's 90-second launch, our 8th launch for IQPS, and 13th launch overall this year. We're creeping up on Electron's milestone 100th launch in the next few weeks, and you never know. With another 7 IQPS missions booked, maybe we'll have another god or goddess on Electron for that ride too.
We don't intend on slowing down anytime soon, so you can expect to see us back on the pad in no time. Stay tuned and keep a close eye on our socials to make sure you don't miss the next one. As always, thank you for joining us and sticking with the mission right to the end. Until next time, this is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.